There's a moment in 100 Years of Solitude where a character ascends to heaven while folding sheets. She just rises. The sheets billow around her, the afternoon light catches them, and she's gone. García Márquez describes it with the same flat certainty he uses for someone making coffee. Readers tend to call this magic realism, which is accurate but misleading. It suggests the magic is a stylistic choice, a kind of literary seasoning, something García Márquez sprinkles over the narrative to make it more interesting. But that misses what the book is actually doing. The magic in Macondo isn't magical, it's how time feels when you're inside a family history. Think about how you remember your own family. Your grandmother's stories don't arrive in chronological order. They loop back. They repeat. Certain images become totemic. The house, the kitchen table, the afternoon light. And they exist in a kind of eternal present. Someone who died before you were born occupies the same space in your memory as someone you spoke to yesterday. García Márquez writes the Buendía family this way. Names repeat across generations, José Arcadio, Aureliano, Remedios, until it becomes genuinely difficult to track which character you're reading about. This isn't sloppiness, it's precision. He's replicating how family memory actually functions. People blur together, stories attached to the wrong names, the dead and living coexist. The novel's famous opening line announces this immediately. Colonel Aureliano Buendía, facing the firing squad, remembers the distant afternoon when his father took him to discover ice. 3 time periods in one sentence: the present moment of execution, the distant past of childhood, and the implied future where someone is narrating all of this. The book refuses linear time from its first breath. And the so-called magical events. They're family stories. Every family has them. The uncle who could predict the weather, the grandmother who saw ghosts, the child who was peculiar in ways no one could explain. Over time, these anecdotes harden into myth. García Márquez simply skips the softening process and writes the myths as fact. A woman is so beautiful, she causes men to die. A priest levitates after drinking chocolate. A plague of insomnia erases an entire town's memory. These aren't interruptions of reality. They're the way reality gets encoded when it passes through generations of storytelling. The magic is memory's tendency toward the archetypal. This is why the book can feel disorienting on first read. We're trained to track plot, but 100 Years of Solitude isn't structured around plot. It's structured around recurrence. The same patterns play out across generations. Men obsessed with impossible projects, women holding households together, passion that leads to ruin, solitude that comes for everyone eventually. The title tells you this plainly. 100 Years of Solitude. Not of triumph, not of tragedy, not of change. Solitude. The thing that persists. The thing that connects the first Buendía to the last. García Márquez wrote that every member of the Buendía family is fighting their own solitude and losing. The town of Macondo rises and falls around them. Wars come and go. Industries boom and collapse. But the essential isolation of each character remains constant. They can't quite reach each other, even in love. Even in family, there's a final distance that can't be crossed. The novel ends with a character reading a prophecy that describes the entire history we've just witnessed. He reads about himself reading. The book consumes its own tale. Time, which has been spiraling throughout, finally closes into a circle. And Macondo is erased, was always going to be erased, had been erased from the moment it was founded. What lingers is the strange comfort of that structure. Families end, towns disappear, histories get forgotten. But while they existed completely. Every generation containing every other generation, every moment holding every other moment. The magic realism isn't escape from reality. It's a way of insisting that all of it is happening at once, forever. in the only place family stories can live, the eternal present tense of memory.